What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video I will be talking about how long you should warm up your G35 and 350Z before you driving it. I know this is a pretty old and pretty controversial topic. Seems like everybody have their own opinion on this, but in today's video I want to explain to you guys and show you guys why and how I measure this. So first thing first, you kind of have to know that when you're warming up the car, what exactly are you warming up? So really you are just warming up the engine, the coolant, the engine oil, the block itself, the air, all that kind of stuff. That's basically what you are warming up. So if you don't warm up the car and you're living in a cold climate, say you turn on the car because the motor is cold, the air is cold, so the cold air will have more density, which it requires more fuel to burn, because the computer, every single car will have a set air-fuel ratio. The computer will try to match that air-fuel ratio. So if you have denser air and colder air, the computer will tell the injector to spray more fuel. But the problem is your injector isn't warmed up either, so the fuel is cold. When the injector spray gas in the cylinder, it doesn't atomization as good, which causes insufficient combustion, which means a lot of fuel isn't burned properly. So computer have to spray more fuel to keep the correct AFR, which is air fuel ratio. And also when your motor is cold, your engine oil will be cold as well. Colder engine oil tend to be thicker, which doesn't flow as well as the warmed up engine oil, and that can cause not enough or not good enough lubrication for your engine, for the metal components. And also your engine block, when your engine block is cold, for example the piston and the block, when it's colder, it'll have a bigger gap, there'll be more blow by. That's just a couple of examples I'm showing you guys, which is why it's important to warm up your car. So moving on to warming up the car, really there are two ways to warm it up. Most of you guys would probably leave the car sitting there idling and running and warming it up, or there's another way, which is actually driving the car and then warming it up. But I mean driving to warm it up, as meaning driving it slow and gentle, not beating on it, but to warming up the car. So warming the car up by driving it slowly or driving it gently, we all know that is a better way to warm the car up, because you can warm up the car faster because the engine have more of a load on it, so it would warm up faster. So obviously you want to minimize the amount of time that the motor is running cold. That is why if you are warming the car by driving it slowly or gently, is a better way to warm the car up. Now we are going to get into how long exactly you should warm up your G35 or your 350Z. And there are really two biggest factors that affect that how long you should warm up your car. The first one is the viscosity engine oil you use in your motor. So I assume most of you guys would run 5W30, 5W40, or 10W30 or 10W40. But yeah, also another big factor is where you live, like how warm the climate is. So basically I kind of list out a form. I'll put the form on the screen, but basically if your car, the motor oil is 0W to start with, then warm up your car like half a minute. If it's 5W, then you add 1 more minute, and if it's 10W, then you add 5 minutes, because 10W is thicker when it's colder, so you want to warm up more to minimize that engine wear and tear. Moving on to the temperature, the climate. So if you're living in a warmer climate, which means that it's usually above 0°, you don't really need to warm up the car unless you have thicker engine oil. If you're living in a colder climate, which is below 0°, from 0° to -10°, you should warm up your car 5 minutes. If you're running thicker engine oil, which you probably shouldn't, you should add more time to that 5 minutes. Say if you live in a 0W, engine oil is 10W, and you're living in the -10° climate, you should warm up your car probably 10 minutes. So if you live in a -10 to -20°, then add another 10 minutes. If it's below 20°, you probably should at least warm up your car for like 20 minutes. That's pretty much the form, or the easier way to understand this. So I kind of put it in the form. Say me personally, my G35 or my V35 Skyline, I use Castrol 5W30. I live in a generally warmer climate, which hardly ever gets to below 0°. So what I usually do is I start the car up and I shut the garage, put my seatbelt on. That's pretty much like over a minute. The car is warmed up pretty much, and I drive out of the driveway. And the important stuff is not to beat on the car, because your engine oil takes a long time to warm up to proper operating temperature. That's why it's doing longer trip is better than the short trip for the car, because you need to give the engine enough time to warm up. If your engine never really warmed up properly and you just turn it off because you arrived your destination, it's not the best for the motor. But yeah, generally speaking, I would let the car idle for like just over a minute or two, sitting there, and then driving out of the driveway. I would usually shift below 3000 RPM, and yeah, just generally gentle to the car, and then after the cooling gets to the operating temperature, that means the block has warmed up, and same as the coolant, I kind of more like driving normally, but I still wouldn't redline the car or do anything crazy until the oil temperature gets to operating temperature. So yeah, basically this method, or this apply on any cars. Yeah, this is my experience, or this is my idea on how long you should warm up your G35 or 350Z, or really any car. Let me know down in the comment section below, and let me know how long you guys warm up your car, and what climate you live in and stuff like that. Very, very interesting to see that how long you guys warm up your G35 and 350Z. And yeah, hope this video really helps you guys out, because I know this is really an old topic and really controversial. Everybody have their own opinion on this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.